It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. Okay, there we go. I heard it. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? What's good? Bird, 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 bird's the word. Bird, 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 bird's the word. Bird, bird, bird's the word. Bird's the word. What's good, everybody? Welcome in. Yeah, we got a cool, not a cool, but a good show. We're gonna talk about our homie Mamdani, and he got caught in a lie, and then also something I meant to share with y'all last week that I forgot to share, so I'll share it today regarding him. We lost a deputy in California, responding to a domestic violence call, so we'll acknowledge him. We'll talk about Shutdown, day 28, and apparently there's a bond on Pam Bondi's head, and so we will definitely discuss that. And let's start here, though. So, when the people gaslight us and tell us that voter fraud isn't really a thing, and they're like, oh, you're just making it up. Oh, that's just right-wing conjecture. Oh, 2020 election was perfect. Everything, right? Because they got what they wanted, 2020, right? But miraculously, the 81 million people didn't show up for Kamala. But, we're going to leave that alone. That's not what this discussion is about. So, I saw this morning with a California sheriff explaining how easy it is for non-citizens to register to vote. All you have to do is let him explain it, and then we'll go.
The way the voting system is structured, we see quite a few flaws. You're able to register even and cast a vote if you don't live in the country, as evident of his brother in Pakistan. I think we have some evidence of 2 or 3 other people out of the country that voted. Is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 2 or 3 other people out of the country, as well as people residing outside of the district.
Okay. The online voter registration system, it seems to be an honor system. Mm-hmm. Anybody can put information in there to register to vote. All you have to do is click a box and say that you're not lying, and then you'll get an email from the Secretary of State or something in the mail saying, thank you for registering to vote. And there you are. Once you're on the voter rolls, anytime an election comes around, guess what? You get mailed a ballot, right? You get mailed something to vote. So we found that a little bit problematic.
So, yeah. And this is just a little speck of what we're talking about, and obviously the larger exposure of this just due diligence, right? Just keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. So obviously there's a problem here, and as a person who was once a registered voter in the state of California, I still get contacted to vote knowing yes on things, and I'm just like, I don't live here anymore, why y'all still contacting me? But it is what it is. So California is clearly not good at clearing up their voter rolls. They're also not good at telling the truth. So, but Democrats insist. They insist that foreigners aren't participating in our elections, and we know that's a lie. But also, wouldn't that also contradict their words? Because it wasn't Russia. And anyway, you know what? We just gonna shut up. Um, the bottom line is there has to be some accountability. There has to be some sort of acknowledgement that there's a problem, because these people won't even acknowledge there's a problem. And the state of California, of all states, where you literally don't need ID to vote, and I voted there several times, so I know. And it's a it shouldn't be an honor system. You should have to prove who you are and that you are allowed to vote here. I'm pretty sure other countries should have secure elections in other ways, but voter ID is not racist. Understanding that you have to present and a form of identification to prove that you are who you say you are, number one, and that number two, you are a citizen of these here United States, and that you can duly participate in our electoral process. If not, get the hell out of the way. But this is what Democrats need, because too many blacks are waking up at this point, so now they need these illegals to start participating and being active. And then this is what they do. They offer them stuff. They offer them, free housing. They offer them SNAP benefit cards that are crazy loaded. They offer them these things, and then they say, okay, well, these are the people who love us, who like us, who want us, who want to take care of us. So we'll vote for them and we'll support them. It's all about votes, y'all. It's not about we care about the people. And then as soon as you're no longer politically expedient, they find a way to take it away from you. Anyway, yeah, so we will keep you posted on the state of California and her BS. So okay. So in today's episode of FAFO, this is what I don't understand. So and I'm gonna guess this was a MAGA person, right? This was MAGA who put a bounty on Pam Bondi's life. Okay, it was a MAGA person. We're just gonna say that up front because we all know that's what it's gonna be spun as. So this anarchist put a bounty on Attorney General Pam Bondi's head for $45,000, and the bonehead posted it to TikTok. The thing started to go viral. And that's when the authorities were alerted.
All right, breaking news, top of the new hour here, and another threat of political violence in America. The FBI making an arrest in a chilling murder-for-hire plot targeting Attorney General Pam Bondi. We are learning brand new details at this hour. Welcome back as America Reports heads into hour two. I'm Sandra Smith in New York.
Scary stuff, Sandra. I'm John Roberts in Washington. The 29-year-old Minnesota man is accused of putting out a $45,000 hit on the Attorney General. It all started on TikTok when a post with the bounty started going viral before setting off a swift federal investigation.
And the suspect's rap sheet is long, and his online activity reveals ties to anarchist symbolism and anti-government literature.
Our justice correspondent David Spunt live here in Washington. What else are we learning, David, about the suspect?
Well, John, he is charged with threatening Attorney General Bondi in a TikTok post. According to authorities in this affidavit that we just saw a couple of hours ago, unsealed recently, he allegedly offered a $45,000 bounty. In the post, there's a photo, and this was on TikTok, a photo of the Attorney General with a sniper red dot, and it reads, "Wanted Pam Bondi, reward $45,000, dead or alive, preferably dead." That's a quote. Wow. He is in custody. Additionally, his TikTok page had anarchist symbols, according to the affidavit filed. The affidavit reads, quote, "Additionally, the suspect user's TikTok page had a link to an anarchist FAQ book pinned to his page. According to open source research, as well as based on your Defiance training and experience, anarchism is a political philosophy and movement that seeks to abolish all institutions that perpetuate authority, coercion, or hierarchy, primarily targeting the state and capitalism." Now, FBI agents John and Sandra from Detroit, Michigan, received a tip from someone who was on TikTok, noticed the post in their feed, then reported this post. The FBI worked with Google, Comcast, and TikTok to find this guy. Google helped with IP logins, IP locations. They also were able to find his email. Now, according to the affidavit, he has a multi-state criminal history, as you mentioned, including a 2022 felony stalking and domestic assault misdemeanor charge. We reached out to the Justice Department. So far, we're being told no comment.
There's some really sick people in this world, and I also want to say this. I stand corrected. It was a MAGA anarchist. So just want to be clear. I don't want to mix it up. So the person was a MAGA anarchist. So just so we're prepared for what they tell us this was. But this is unacceptable on every level. Political violence is just never, and I know they say this all the time when political violence happens, but how about you say it before it happens? How about you not encourage it? How about you not be out here calling people the second coming of Hitler? How about you not be out here calling people Nazis? How about you be out here not calling people racist and bigots, right? Authoritarian and all of these crazy things that y'all have accused this administration of being, which they're not. They're literally doing everything within the Constitution. What you don't like is that they're pushing the limits of the Constitution. Y'all want everybody to play safe. Republicans, those rhinos, they want to play safe. They want to go back to business as usual. They want to go back to the kickbacks. They want to go back to the backbiting. They want to go back to yielding and being passive and submissive to these people. That's what they want us to go. And we're never going to get back. Donald Trump has changed the face of the Republican Party forever. It's done. It's a done deal. The passivity, we're done. It's over. Not going to happen. We don't care if you were called names. We don't care. White folks don't care if you call them racist anymore. White people don't care. It don't matter. The names y'all call, I don't give a their fucking names. I don't know you people. Who cares? Anyway, prayers for Pam Bondi, her family. I mean, it has to be tough right now on everybody in this administration because everyone's literally a target. And you never know when one of these psychopaths are going to arise and decide to start being proactive on their emotional state or their psychosis or their stupidity or their retardation, whatever you want to call it. But this is unacceptable on every level, and it should have. And we just got to do better, But speaking of hypocrites and hypocrisy and FAFO, Baraki. So the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, uncovered an old video of Hussein here. Literally talking about the pending shutdown. Remember over Obamacare? Remember that whole fiasco over Obamacare? And the folks were like, well, the Republicans were like, nah, this is stupid. And then remember Nancy Pelosi, oh, we could read it after we pass it. Anyway, so this is Barack Obama, literally sounding like he's a member of the Trump administration.
You don't like a particular policy or a particular president? Then argue for your position. Go out there and win an election. Are some of these folks really so beholden to one extreme wing of their party that they're willing to tank the entire economy just because they can't get their way on this issue? Are they really willing to hurt people just to score political points? Republicans in Congress chose to shut down the federal government. Let me be more specific. One faction of one party in one house of Congress, in one branch of government, shut down major parts of the government, all because they didn't like one law.
Well, isn't that something? Geez, who shut down the government? Oh, you mean Chuck Schumer yielded to the radical left-wing faction of the Democrat Party, and that's why we are now in day 28 of a shutdown. Also, when we start to unpack these ACA provisions, we realize y'all get a kickback on that. We need to get lobbyists out of our government. I don't even understand why at this point this is even still a legal thing. Lobbyists have been the death of real politics. And then when you have this extreme faction of the Democrat Party, which now has the biggest bullhorn at the moment, because nobody has the balls to stand up to them and say this is wrong. And the people who do, like John Fetterman, y'all threaten to primary him. Oh, we're gonna primary you. We're gonna primary you. It's Pennsylvania. Shut up. Good luck with that. We're going to primary you because I'm not going to sit up here and say that Donald Trump's a Nazi. I'm not going to sit up here and not work across the aisle. You are literally sent to Washington to get shit done. You're not sent to Washington to shut the government down because you're not getting your kickbacks from the healthcare industry and then bitch it and then starve your own constituents and then try to blame the other political party. That's not how that works. But then you have idiots with big platforms like D.L. Hughley and Cardi B and Stephen A. Smith who are out here about politics. But these are the most inept people who need to just stick to what they do. You know, and that's it. Be a comedian, be a sports commentator, be a rapper, you know. And how good or not you are at those things, that's not the topic right now. But this is the level of hypocrisy we're dealing with. We talked about it yesterday with the whole Nazi tattoo. How you a Democrat running for Senate in the state of Maine, and your polling goes up after it's exposed that you have a Nazi tattoo on your chest? Your polling goes up. How is it that you are? I think it was Maryland, where the dude threatened the lives of Republicans, and he raises $500,000. How are we in this world right now? Well, how are we here? How are we here? How are we here, Ike? How are we here? Because we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here, and the internet's forever. The internet is forever, baby, and we can literally point your hypocrisy out in real time. Democrats are required. Republicans, they need Democrat votes to reopen the government. That's it. This is something they voted on 13 times. So 13 times they have voted to keep the government closed. They refused to fund. I mean, even when they put up simple bills just to keep stuff going, like SNAP and payments to military, they blocked that too. You even look at how governors of certain states are doing things. The governor of Virginia literally has the funds to fund the SNAP program for next month. So people in Virginia will not go hungry, and people in Virginia will get their benefits. Because I know we like to talk about SNAP and how, there are lazy people on SNAP. There are people on SNAP who have no business being on SNAP. But let's be clear, when we're talking about elderly people, when we're talking about actual poor people, when we're talking about disabled people, that's different, right? But Democrats are willing to play politics with your lives to get their agenda across, which the agenda doesn't even benefit you in the long term. It benefits them financially. They tell you this is why they're doing it, right? This is why we're doing it. The Affordable Care Act, literally put the provision on there for y'all, and Hakeem Jeffrey said no. So if we gave you the year and we said let's go back to negotiate, and y'all still said no, how the hell is that the Republicans' fault? And hold the line, Republicans. I don't care. We could sit here and do this for the rest of the year at this point, because you look at how red states are handling it versus how blue governors are handling it. Look at Maryland. Maryland went from a surplus with the last governor to this governor ruining everything. What is his name? Westmore ruined everything. Now you're crawling out of a hole. Now you have to figure out how to cover all of these things that the federal government can't pay out at the moment. But we gonna sit here and tell us it's the Republicans. It's the Republicans. No, it's y'all. It's y'all, and it's for the wrong reasons. And so to literally look back at Barack Obama literally sounding like Donald Trump or any Republican or the Speaker of the House right now is absolutely laughable. These, Democrats, Bernie Sanders, this decrepit, half-dead motherfucker literally went on The View and said, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We have to get a paycheck because some people in Congress have children. Oh, so your constituents don't have children? Your constituents who are relying on SNAP benefits are? Oh, okay. They just we'll figure it out." Your constituents who are in the military, they don't man, they don't have families. Your constituents who are air traffic controllers, they don't have families. Oh, okay. The TSA workers, they don't have families. Oh, okay. Congress, you'll be okay. Y'all get a great salary, even the bare minimum salary, right? So what you do with that money is up to you, but for the most part, you're getting a good salary. You also get to vote on your own raises. So when we have all that going on and you want to sit here and try to act like there are congressmen who are going to go without food, trust me, each and every member of Congress is eating well. You're getting what you want. Your dietary restrictions and everything you need is being fulfilled. Everything from your lifestyle to your food, everything. So I don't want to hear anything about the people have families. All of these people have families who are not getting paychecks right now, and then but this is the thing. This is what they want. They want this stain on Donald Trump's legacy to say, oh, see, Donald Trump doesn't want you to. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. And it's pretty bad when a former Democrat, Andrew Yang, is literally saying, y'all are going about this the wrong way.
If I'm the Dems, I'm like, look, we've taken a stand, but we're not going to let families starve. Chuck Schumer, in March, kept the government open for this very reason. And then he took a blasting from the base of his party that he had to show fight. But this is not the fight, because you have millions and millions of Americans who are on the edge right now. And everyone at home knows what I'm talking about. You're on the edge right now, and a lot of them are getting pushed off the precipice by the shutdown.
Veterans, kids, I mean, it's all
air
kinds of
traffic
people.
controllers, you
That's
name
right.
it.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So you think I give a damn about a congressional rep's children? When literally the people who aren't making $274,000 a year, those are the people I care about. I don't care about you. I don't care about Congress. You vote for your own raises, which should be changed immediately, and you should be the ones not getting paid during a government shutdown. Everybody else should be getting run them their money. It's not their fault the government shut down. It's your fault. But y'all continue to play politics with people's lives. I hope the American people see through this bull, because I don't see how you can see it, how you can blame a Republican for this. At this point, I don't know. Chuck Schumer has no backbone at this point. He's an old man who needs to retire, and they're probably going to primary him anyway. Chuck Schumer needs to go. You can't take some criticism from the radical, loud, ghetto faction of your party. You can't stand there and look them in the eye and say, shut the hell up. I'll do this as I see fit. Weren't you the one talking about working across the aisle? You wasn't that always your little speech whenever one of these things were on the horizon? Yeah. Oh, now we don't want to work across the aisle. No, we don't want to work because we're gonna get our kickbacks. But you're not telling the American people that. You're trying to make it seem like it's about them, and it's not. The $1.5 trillion, the overwhelming majority of that does not benefit any American. That $1.5 trillion y'all want to add in and the stuff, and then you want to destroy legislation during a shutdown. That's not how that works. So some major changes have to be done going forward in our Congress. They have too much power. And the accountability and responsibility should fall on them when they decide that they want to choke the purse of the American people. Yeah, that's how that should happen. What y'all doing, what these Democrats are doing right now is absolutely sickening. It's ridiculous. People work hard to make ends meet, and some people are struggling. Some people are on hard times. Some people are elderly or poor or disabled, and you are sitting here telling them that you're doing this for their good, how the hell are you doing this for their good? You can't keep the government open and negotiate at the same time, but it's for my good. Only dummies could not see through that. Only an idiot would not see through that. But I'm just AJ over here, minding my business on my struggle stream, minding my business. So anyway, Republicans hold the line. Hold the line, hold the line. Do not yield to these animals. And Republican governors are doing their best. Democrat governors, we see how they're moving. This is literally like COVID 2.0, right? You saw how Republican governors handled it versus Dem governors. You saw how they handled it. So whatever. We will see how this turns out for the midterms. Anyway, so on to some sad news. This is Deputy. Oh, sorry. This is Deputy Andrew Nunez, and he died after being shot in the head by a suspect who fled on motorcycle. San Bernardino Sheriff Shannon Dicus identified the deputy killed as Andrew Nunez. Nunez leaves behind a wife, a 2-year-old daughter, a mother, and 4 siblings. And what's also tragic about this is his wife is also expecting. So there's a child that's never going to meet their father because of a domestic violence disturbance. But remember, New York City, stand up. So to these calls, your pending mayor wants to send social workers because it's just a little spat between a couple. They're just spatting. It's can never escalate. I don't know if there's a GoFundMe for the animal, but the animal's in the hospital, and here's a breakdown.
It's with a heavy heart that I announce that our deputy who was shot during a domestic violence incident earlier today, his name is Andrew Nunez. He's a 6-year deputy with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department and had served the community of Rancho Cucamonga for 5 years. At 13:13 hours, he was pronounced deceased after receiving a single gunshot wound to the head. As you know, Andrew was responding to a domestic violence call. After that call, deputies immediately started rendering aid to Andrew, and our allied agency, along with our SWAT team, came in to secure the area in Rancho Cucamonga where this call took place. While that was occurring, the suspect left the area on a motorcycle and subsequently was pursued by our deputy sheriffs with aerial support overhead. The pursuit came to a conclusion with an off-duty deputy sheriff who put himself on duty and conducted a legal intervention by hitting the suspect on the motorcycle, causing the motorcycle to go down. The suspect is in stable condition at an area hospital. Right now, the additional information about this case, as you can imagine, this is still an ongoing investigation. We're out on the scene investigating that. We're also out on the scene where the pursuit came to a culmination and taking care of that investigation. And then we're also waiting with the suspect to interview him. As you can imagine, the entire department is very heavily, I don't even know what to say. We're embedded in sorrow. Unfortunately for our department, this has happened way too often. When we talk about this young man, his wife, 2-year-old daughter, and the couple was expecting. His mother and his 4 brothers and sisters are who have to live with this, along with the members of his department who are out there serving with him today. We're going to do our very best to the most important thing at this point, and that's to make sure that we bring this suspect to justice and take good care of that family.
Where's the outcry for Deputy Nunez? He made the ultimate sacrifice. I mean, by all accounts, was a stand-up guy, a husband, a father, a sibling, a son, and for some reason, crickets. Interesting. Interesting. And this is why Zohran Mamdani, who we're about to talk about, this is why you don't send social workers to these scenes. First of all, you don't know what you're walking into. That's the first thing. You don't know. You don't know. And I'm sure Prince, who's in the chat, can attest to this. You just don't know. It could be a couple having a simple argument that just escalated a little bit, or it could be a full-fledged on assault. You don't know. You don't know. And what is your training as a social worker going to do in that moment when somebody is so out of control that they're about to, or if not, they haven't done already, kill someone? What do you do as a social worker in that moment? Perfect, Prince. Social social worker at a 911 call is suicide. Essentially. It's the stupidest concept ever. It's the dumbest concept. And we'll talk about Mamdani and his ridiculousness in a moment. But prayers to Deputy Nunez's family. I mean, gosh, a child still like hasn't even gotten here yet and will never meet him. That's just the craziest part to me. That's the craziest part when someone dies before their child gets here. And it's like all you have is like stories of the person and who they were and whatever. You'll never like experience that. But, life is crazy. And so rest in peace, Deputy Nunez, and prayers and love for all involved. So we go from a great man to a Nepo baby. So this Nepo baby, who is probably going to be New York City's next mayor, because apparently New Yorkers want socialism right now. But I did see a poll. I should have pulled that poll up where people, native New Yorkers, like real New Yorkers, people who were born and raised in New York, like me, for the most part, would not pull the lever for this thing right here. A lot of these people who are supporting this man are transplants. These are the people who come from, Wisconsin, Minnesota, West Bubble, nowhere, Nebraska, and they come to the big city and they're like, yeah, the solution here is socialism. Because guess what? When it all goes to shit, you get to go back to mommy and daddy's big, massive property in Montana. Or upstate New York or Connecticut. You get to go fall back on the privilege that your parents built. You get to fall back, and then the people in the city get to suffer for the rest. This is the worst idea. And New York City has had some bad mayors, but this is probably one of the worst ideas. But y'all filled up Met Stadium, and y'all had AOC listen to her voice. It's like nails on a chalkboard, which is why I didn't cover her speaking at that event, or I didn't cover the event at all because I thought it was a whole bunch of BS. But this guy is a snake oil salesman. And I've said this, and I've had videos ratioed right here on YouTube for critiquing this man, and these white liberals will come in there and they will say the most horrendous things. They will mass dislike the video. They will say all of the nastiest things. But the one thing they don't say is I'm wrong. They'll never say I'm wrong. I'm a native New Yorker. I may not have lived in New York for a minute, but I'm a native New Yorker through and through. And so I know the ins and outs of that city. I know what ticks and what will make it work. But for some reason, we're just gonna go with socialism because we're fed up with bad leadership. Well, how about you stop voting for people by default because they're promising the Central Park Five $41 million, which isn't going to benefit you. They're taking $41 million of your money and giving it to a bunch of criminals. How about you stop doing that? How about you then stop voting for the next person who comes after Bill de Blasio and just voting for him because he's a black man? How about you not do that? How about you mean what you say what you mean, demand what you want, and make sure this person is thoroughly is going to fulfill that. But no. We're just gonna settle for this. So now we're just gonna go full-fledged Democrat socialism and hope it works out. With our free buses, our free healthcare, our free blah blah blah. We're gonna tax the rich, we're gonna tax the corporations, and the corporations are just gonna sit there and take it. No, here's what the corporations are gonna do. They're either going to raise the prices on everything. So now it's already crazy. Now we have to raise it again because now we got to pay more taxes. You think they're going to cover the tax bill? No, they're just going to charge the consumer more. That's it. That's how that works. Or they're going to say, what? We can't handle this. We out. And they're going to move to Florida or Texas or some other state where the regulations isn't going to strangle their business. But nobody wants to hear me. But let's do Mamdani. So remember, I think it was last week, Mamdani had like a 10-minute press conference outside of a mosque where he was boohooing, whining, and crying about his aunt and the Muslims and Islamophobia and him being a Muslim and then but remember this moment during the speech where he said this.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
You know what? Even if this is true, even if it was true, because it wasn't, but even if it was true, I don't care. Muslims have demonstrated, and not all, because I have Muslim cousins, and they're not violent people. They're not crazy radicals. But when you don't call out the bad, this is what I tell black people all the time. When you don't call out the bad amongst you, I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about your aunt not being able to wear a hijab. I don't care. You killed almost 3,000 people in one day. I don't care that your aunt allegedly couldn't get on the thing with a hijab. Come to find out, if you can't read on the side here, this is the aunt's resume. Come to find out that homeboy's aunt she didn't wear a hijab. And she didn't live in New York City at the time. She lived in Tanzania. Shout out to Tanzania. She was a senior program development officer from the year 2000 to 2003 in Tanzania. So can somebody explain to me how his aunt was subject to discrimination when she wasn't even here and she didn't wear a hijab? And were there instances where people retaliated against Muslims? Yes, there were, but it wasn't like this epidemic that y'all want to make it. It's not this epidemic that y'all want to make it. It's not this radical, oh my gosh, Muslims just couldn't walk down the street. Shut up. That was not the case. You are literally doing photo ops with mongrels who applauded what happened on 9/11 and what happened in 1993 when they tried to blow up the World Trade Center from the bottom. You accept the endorsement of those types of people. And then you rage against Andrew Cuomo for not going to a mosque. Who gives a damn about going to a mosque and embracing your false ideology? No one cares. Have you been to a church? Have you gone in a church? Have you met with Christian leaders in New York City? No, I'm sure you haven't. I'm telling y'all right now, once this happens, the floodgates are open. These Muslims are taking over. We can see it happening right before our eyes. This country was built on Christian fundamentals. This country was not built. Yes, you have freedom of religion. You can practice your religion, but these people's religion, we see what these people's religion does to other people. They are beheading people in Nigeria right now. These are things you could have zung this man with in a debate. So are you condemning your Muslim brotherhood who is now beheading Christians in Nigeria and Congo? Are you condemning that? Oh, nobody's getting on about that. No. We ain't gonna. No, we're gonna sit in a debate and try to talk about stupid stuff. No. This man is an anti-Semite. He's an anti-Semite. He hates Jews. And the Jewish population in New York City, y'all better come through in the voting. Because has he been to synagogues? I would have asked him that. Have you been to synagogues? You worried about what mosques I've been to. Have you been to synagogues? Oh, okay. Have you had meetings with Jewish leadership? No, you haven't, because you hate them. When this man gets elected, he is going to radicalize the government against the citizens of New York City. And mark my words. What good is the free bus if the city's riddled with crime? What good is the bus? What good is the free bus? This man would have been more radical during COVID. Thank God. I mean, de Blasio was awful, but he would have been worse, and Cuomo was no better. Again, like I told you, New York, I'm not saying the choices you have are great. That's not what I'm saying here. But Sliwa would be the man for the job right now. Curtis Sliwa would definitely be the man for the job, but nobody wants to have that conversation. And so we're sitting here letting this man railroad us about visiting mosques. Meanwhile, we haven't challenged where he's been. Clearly, he's meeting with the Musty Brotherhood, which is standing behind him. This is a Muslim agenda. This is not an agenda for the people of New York City. Islamophobia is not this mass craze problem. Not our fault that Muslims destroyed the World Trade Center and flew a plane into the Pentagon and flew a plane into a field in Philadelphia, which they believe was headed to the White House. Muslims did that. And you take pictures with people who are literally supporting this and endorsing it. But of course, once okay, of course, once he got called out, because he made his 10-minute speech about Islamophobia and I'm a Muslim and my aunt, she couldn't get on the train after 9/11 because of the blah, 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 she couldn't wear that hijab, she didn't want to get on the train. Bullshit. Of course, when he gets called out on it, it's not, oh, my bad, I embellished or I lied or, I shouldn't have, I misspoke or whatever. No. It's, I made a 10-minute speech and you are just nitpicking.
Yes, I was speaking about my aunt. I was speaking about Zerafui, my father's cousin, who sadly passed away a few years ago. And for the takeaway from my more than 10-minute address about Islamophobia in this race and in this city to be the question of my aunt tells you everything about Andrew Cuomo and his inability to reckon with a crisis of his own making. What do you think about all that?
Fuck y'all. Fuck your religion. Your false doctrine, your what's the word I'm looking for? Pedophilic leader, person, you shaman, whatever the fuck it, Mohammed, whatever his name is. Fuck him. Fuck y'all and fuck it. Are you You gonna go to 3,000 people who lost their lives that day? You're gonna go to their families and say, "Well, Islamophobia." I would punch you right in your face. The fuck your Islamophobia. My loved one jumped out of a building or was asphyxiated to death from black smoke, and you think I give a damn, or died in a collapse of a building, or died in a plane crash? You think I give a damn about your musty aunt who wasn't even here? You're lying. You get called out in the lie. Instead of you address the lie, you try to deflect to the emotionalism. This is what these people do. And this is why Andrew Cuomo, who I thought was smarter than this and could debate better than this, apparently he can't, would have called the bullshit. You talking about if I visit a mosque, have you visited a church? Have you visited a synagogue? Name me the churches and the synagogues. Name me the Jewish leaders you've met with. No, but what does Andrew Cuomo do? He cowers. Oh my God, he's talking about Muslims. I can't say anything about it. But fuck them musty motherfuckers. Give a fuck about. So you think I'm gonna choose Islam over 3,000 Americans? Some of whom were Muslim themselves. And I'm talking about the ones who flew the planes to the building. I'm talking about the ones who were working. Every walk of life was affected on 9/11. Every single walk of life. It didn't matter what race, how much money you made, whether you were at the executive at the company, or if you was working in the kitchen, whether you was a doorman, whether you was a security guard. It didn't matter. When your humanity's on the line, it don't matter. So no one cares that your aunt couldn't shut up, which was a lie. And this is why I detest these people, because they could never say, you know what? I misspoke. I apologize for that. But he can never do that. So then he bobs and weaves over to the emotional stuff. And then you get the dummies in the back shaking their head, yes. Bad. Ah. Wow. Nah, stock up on bacon. Oh man, facts, Prince, facts. As long as Democrats have emotions, they will have mindless voters. Because these are the same idiots who come into our live streams to debate us, and then they use emotional arguments. It's like, bro, your emotional arguments are not going to work here. But what I do want to show y'all, oh, I didn't upload it. Oh, don't tell me I didn't upload it, or maybe I just didn't create a what you call it for it. Let's see. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yes,
Hold up. No,
I was
no, no,
speaking.
no, 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 no. Shut up. All right. So this, I meant to tell y'all about this last week, but I, I was still sick. So, I was going through life. Life was lifing. Wait, it's not here. Hold on. We got to upload it then. Upload. Why wasn't it here? Maybe it never loaded. That's the problem. But it's right here. So if it's right here, then it should have been here. Hold on. Nope, it's not here. Hold on. I got y'all. Give me 2 seconds. All right, send this. Airdrop this to me. Boom. And we just gonna airdrop it in. All right, there you go. Boop bip, what you got? All right, all right, all right. Cancel. Close. All right, so there's this group called Muslims Against Mamdani, and they they set up a table and was willing to sit down with New Yorkers and have conversations as to why, as Muslims, they're not standing with this person. And hold on, where's the download? There it goes. And here's what they had to say.
We are Muslims against Mamdani. Ask us why.
Why are you against Mamdani?
First of all, do you know that Mamdani is supporting decriminalization of prostitution?
No, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that. Which is an NYC law that prostitution is not allowed.
Yeah.
And we are against it because every single religion of the world against prostitution creates morality issues. It brings a lot of disease. Do you want that?
No.
No.
That shouldn't be happening at all.
When there is prostitution, there is a human trafficking.
I had no idea.
When there's a human trafficking, there's a drug trafficking. Can you imagine what he's doing? Honestly, I don't agree with it.
What made you want to do this type of thing?
Because he's Muslim and we are Muslim and we are saying you're doing a wrong thing. It's against the law, it's against the faith. And he's defunding the police.
That's what I heard.
It's true. So you're from New York, right?
Yeah.
As you know how much crime is going on.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have less police, do you feel safe at that time?
I don't think so. Police working very bravely, very tirelessly for our community to keep us safe. No need to give the salary to police. Why? There will be no jail. There will be no police. You just imagine.
I actually love your.
And they're pulling proof. This is what I also like. They're not just saying he said this. They're pulling his tweets. They're pulling his words and saying, these are your words. And y'all let this snake oil salesman get on a debate stage and y'all didn't tear him apart. He's slick. He's slick. He's gonna always, he's a snake oil salesman. He's always gonna charm his way out of these situations. You gotta hold people like this to the fire. Because if you don't, they'll just charm you and you'll just move on and you'll be like, oh, well, he's not that bad. I'm going, no, he's bad.
Point, because I didn't know that.
You can't give somebody like that power.
Zach, you guys are Muslims too, and you guys don't support him. He's not Muslim.
Right.
He does not. He's self-proclaimed Hindu.
This is the photo I was talking about, along with the Central Park criminal. So this is him with the what is, I forgot the title. But the dude on the right, on the dude on his left, my right. Oh, Imam. It's right there in the title. So they're pulling proof.
Whenever he goes to a mosque, he says, I'm a Muslim. Whenever he goes to a mandir, Hindu mandir, he says, my mother was Hindu. He is misleading people. Just want to get the vote.
He lies about everything, basically.
Yes.
It's all that propaganda. You see what I'm saying? They want to get the people riled up.
He's an American who hides behind the concept of a religion.
Yeah, correct. He's using it, everything. He is the wrong person to be a mayor for this great city.
He can say many things, but actuality he will not be able to establish fair policy.
If you're against Mamdani, then who are you with?
I am voting for Como.
Como is our right mayor.
I think we're all on the same page.
You guys being out here is really cool because I got to learn from people that are older, people that have more wisdom. So it's like I really respect and I really honor what you're doing.
It was great meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
What do you think? That Mamdani should be the mayor?
I don't think so.
I'm not his fan.
Should they vote Mamdani or Como?
Como.
Como. Come on board. We are.
You should actually vote Sliwa, but you know, we're in the day and age of labels. So if you have a label and people don't understand what that label actually means, and they're going to stick to the bias of the labels versus the person trying to explain it. Mamdani is a snake oil salesman, and I will say this until whenever. What? Really? Is that legal? Can she do that? She's not likable. She's not a likable person. You could tell she's very emotional, and she's very tick tick boom. Like you could tell she when she booms, she booms. She's tick tick boom. So I don't trust that lady. But you know, whatever. I don't live in California anymore either. I would love to go back to California. I say it every day of my life, but you know, I'm all right for now. I'll just have to deal with no morning sunrises at the beach for now. Anyway, New Yorkers, I'm really just praying and hoping that New Yorkers come through at the end. Like, I just hope this is surge for Sliwa or Cuomo that gets either one of them over the line. I'm just hoping that these polls are just, whatever, and the the silent majority. There's this secret silent majority that's really not talking. They're just gonna go and do their part. I'm really hoping that comes through. But by all accounts, this is gonna be New York City's next mayor, and that's it. Once the Muslim Brotherhood infiltrates that and they get the keys to the kingdom, they're taking over. They're going to try. It's going to be New York City mayor, then it's going to be mayor of this city, mayor of that city, governor of this state. It's going to be presidency. It's going to be everything. They want to infiltrate. They want to make this a Muslim nation because they're not satisfied with just being free to practice their religion here. They want to take over. They're not good with just having the constitutional right to practice your religion freely. They're not good with just that. Because Christians won't agree with your ideology or your religion, I should say, but they understand that you have the constitutional right to practice it. Muslims, on the other hand, we see how they react in their countries when there's Christians. I mean, there's a whole genocide going on in Nigeria right now that no one's talking about. So we know how they treat people. We know how they treat people. So it is what it is at this point. Listen, if you are from New York and you listen to this on the replay, I need you to rally up your people and go to the polls. I don't care if it's Cuomo or Sliwa, but it can't be this. Hold on, let me do it. It can't be this. It could be Cuomo, it could be Sliwa, it could be whomever, but it can't be this. This. Anyway, I appreciate y'all so much for watching today. If you would like to support the channel, you can go to AJsRANTroom.com. That's AJsRANTroom.com. You can get this cool hoodie. It doesn't, well, the sleeves are on it. I cut the sleeves off of this one, but you can get the cool God Got Me hoodie. This hat isn't available anymore. We got a whole bunch of cool merch. We got bags, we got gym bags, we got duffel bags, backpacks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, sweatpants. It's gray sweatpants season, so if you want to go copy some gray sweatpants, I won't be mad at you. If you would like to buy me a coffee, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/AJsRANTroom and drop a nickel in the bucket for some coffee. I would most appreciate it. We also take those cash apps as well. AJ's Rant. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. And I'll bring that up tomorrow. But thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all, and I will catch you guys on Hump Day. Peace.